started all the lying you've done to the American people. On
All the what?
everything. All the lying, all the dishonesties.
That who has done?
You have done. Tens of
Go ahead,
thousands.
please. He caused the inflation, and it's killing black families and Hispanic families and just about everybody. The fact is that his big kill on the black people is the millions of people that he's allowed to come in through the border. They're taking black jobs now, and it could be 18, it could be 19, and even 20 million people. They're taking black jobs.
I just want to shout out a few people that made a difference in our lives. My grandfather owned a hardware store, and so he showed me that black people could do business. My grandmother told me she worked at Picatinny Arsenal during the war making bombs. She felt like that was her contribution to helping America win. She also raised 9 kids. Wow. My other grandmother, who was 91, raised 7 kids. So shout to Nana in Maryland.
Queen Latifah just launched a truth missile, and it's locked on Donald Trump with no intention of missing. She's not just the queen of hip-hop or a box office legend. She's a voice of reason in a storm of lies. Trump. He's in the eye of that storm now. Latifah isn't throwing shade. She's dropping facts so raw they sting. This isn't just entertainment. It's a reckoning. A moment where illusion meets truth and loses. You'll feel your heart race as she peels back the mask. What she reveals might shake your beliefs forever. Stay right here. This truth will hit home.
You have pushed false claims about some of your rivals, from Nikki Haley to former President Barack Obama, saying that they were not born in the United States, which is not true. You have told 4 congresswomen of color who were American citizens to go back to where they came from. You have used words like animal and rabbit to describe black district attorneys. You've attacked black journalists, calling them a loser, saying the questions that they ask are, quote, you've had dinner with a white supremacist at your Mar-a-Lago resort.
Before we go further, hit that like and subscribe, because Queen Latifah didn't just speak, she roared. Known for her soul-deep honesty, she stepped into the political fire and torched the biggest lie of all, Donald Trump's entire image. We've all had our suspicions, but Latifah? She confirmed what we feared and unveiled what we never imagined. This wasn't just a clapback, it was an emotional gut punch to the myth Trump's built for decades. She dug up what he buried: broken promises, inflated egos, and the collapsing fantasy of a marriage he parades like a trophy. You can feel the truth ripple. And when you hear what she uncovered, it won't just shock you, it might just change how you see everything.
Listen, we all know what happened. You know, we had a great quarterback. He decided to take a knee, for that, and that became a firestorm, and it wasn't just him, him and some of his teammates. And then it became about everything except what it was about. It was strictly about police brutality. It was about the way the police were treating black men.
Let's cut the act. Trump's entire legacy is a bedtime story he forced us all to read. I have the best words. That wasn't charm. It was the beginning of a fantasy where facts didn't matter, and power excused everything. He made millions believe the impossible, but behind that smirk was a desperate man terrified of the truth. This isn't harmless spin, it's emotional manipulation on a national scale. His lies aren't just words, they've hurt people, divided families, and destroyed trust. And still, he clings to the role of hero. But now the illusion's cracking. Because finally, someone is brave enough to pull back the curtain, for good.
Doctors in England claim that writing and listening to rap can actually treat mental illness. Yeah, they say that rap lyrics are about people's struggles and how they overcame them, and so the songs actually help people battling depression feel more empowered. I can attest to it.
And so are white people. So are white people. What a terrible question to ask. So are white people. More white people, by the way. More white people.
Only Queen Latifah could walk into the chaos Trump built and bring it crashing down with a single sentence. She didn't just mention his marriage. She unmasked the farce in front of millions. That union, the one staged for cameras and votes, has been unraveling for years. And Latifah? She tore through it like truth through silence. Across the country, jaws dropped. She didn't whisper. She roared. And in that roar was every suppressed thought, every eye roll at their charade. Her words weren't just commentary, they were catharsis. For every person who's felt gaslit by Trump's show, this moment was long overdue. And it felt like justice.
Maybe some people, they see me as just the wife of the president, but I'm standing on my own 2 feet, independent. I have my own thoughts. I have my own yes and no. I don't always agree what my husband is saying or doing, and that's okay.
Are you able to tell him when you disagree?
I gave him my advice, and sometimes he listens, sometimes he doesn't, and that's...
Let's be honest, Trump's marriages have never been about love. They've been contracts written in ego and sealed in silence. But his marriage to Melania? That's not even believable fiction. It's a haunting spectacle of two strangers playing pretend. He parades her like proof of power, while she drifts like a ghost in designer heels. Watch closely, her eyes don't lie. They scream of distance, of loneliness, of a woman imprisoned by status. And when the cameras cut, we all know she's somewhere counting down the minutes to freedom. This isn't a love story, it's a slow-motion collapse disguised as wealth. And deep down, every viewer watching feels it, that silent ache that something about all of it is deeply, deeply wrong.
With him? No, I don't. And I tell him that. I tell him my opinions. I tell him what I think. Sometimes he listens, sometimes he don't.
Queen Latifah didn't break a sweat, she broke the silence. With calm fury, she ripped into Trump's crumbling facade, exposing the rot behind his carefully painted smile. She didn't just question his marriage. She connected it to the bigger picture. If this man can't nurture a family, how can he care for a nation? His relationships fall apart like glass castles, beautiful but built to shatter. And Melania? Her presence screams everything her lips never say. She's a woman trapped in a luxury cage, her disinterest louder than any speech. And when Latifah spoke, it felt like someone finally said what millions have whispered for years. Her words cut through the illusion, and in that truth, there was pain, freedom, and vindication.
I absolutely love this idea. I remember going through my things as a teenager, 14, 15, and sitting on the bus, taking the bus to the movies or wherever I was going, and sitting on the back of the bus writing lyrics and working through my own emotions, working through things and really coming in, into a more positive place just by expressing what I was feeling. So I really hope that this works.
Trump's lies don't just stretch across headlines. They twist through the soul of a country tired of being deceived. His so-called empire? Built on privilege, loopholes, and bold-faced exaggeration. He wasn't climbing a ladder. He was riding an elevator funded by inheritance. And every time he claims brilliance, it's like he's mocking those who built success the hard way. His business genius? A trail of bankrupt dreams and broken promises. And Queen Latifah? She didn't just confront him. She spoke for every working person fed up with the scam. Her words weren't just shade. They were a cry for truth in a world full of spin. And when you hear her voice, you'll feel something you haven't felt in a long time. Clarity.